Hey guys, what's happening? My name is wAFF and I have literally just woke up and come to sit at my desk to do some videos. So if I look tired, that's because I am. So I'm sure everyone already knows and has heard the news about Chadwick Boseman passing away. This was a complete shock to me. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I always have that initial shock when someone famous or celebrity or someone dies who you have been watching on films for years, or anyone who's kind of famous who dies. It's a bit of a shock because they kind of feel like they just won't ever die. You kind of forget that they are just human. But yeah, this one was a proper shock. I mean, Chadwick Boseman, he's so young. He's only 43 years old, and he is the Black Panther. Like, I can't believe that he's just no longer with us. It is so sad, and especially to find out why. For those of you that, I'm sure all of you know, but just in case anyone's watching who doesn't know, Chadwick Boseman died of colon cancer. He was struggling and battling with this colon cancer for 4 years, and in these 4 years, he was making some unbelievable films and achievements. Like, he became the Black Panther whilst having cancer. Like, it's crazy to think that. Like, he was filming Black Panther and Avengers and all these films, and he had cancer. Like, it's such a crazy thing. No one ever knew. But I had no idea. I know there was that video that he posted a while ago. I think it was like an Instagram Live or something, and he looked really, really, really skinny, and everybody was kind of speculating that it was because he was losing weight for a film. I think the Five Bloods, maybe. But yeah, he looked really, really skinny and frail, but now looking back at that, it kind of opens your eyes to what was actually going on, and it's really sad because he was clearly, like, he was dying. So it's really, really sad. I just feel so kind of, there's a mixture of emotions going on because I'm completely devastated about it. I'm also feel like really like proud and sort of like happy about everything that he's accomplished. I feel like what an amazing thing to do. Like, you're dying of cancer, but you're managing to achieve all of these things, like do all these films, and you are the Black Panther. Like, you changed so much with that film. Like, he affected so many people, especially like the black community. Like, it was a huge thing, and he was the center of all of that. Like, he was the guy, he was the face of all of this, and that is just such a huge thing. And to think that he was struggling all this way through it in silence it's a tough thing to think about, but it's also a beautiful thing at the same time. Anyway, Marvel have released this tribute video to Chadwick Boseman. I have seen this video kicking about the internet for the last few days, but I decided to keep it aside until I had time to come sit down and watch it first time on my own. So I'm going to do this now. It's going to be emotional, but yeah, I'd like to have some sort of thing to do with Chadwick Boseman on my channel. So let's watch this together and, yeah, get the tissue ready, I guess.
It was Chadwick Boseman's performance in 42 that really made us take a second look. There is such an honor and dignity to the way that he played Jackie Robinson that we knew we needed for the character of T'Challa, the Prince of Wakanda.
Chadwick is an amazing actor and we thought would fit perfectly with the MCU.
Black Panther himself, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick, he has a lot of depth. It was amazing as an audience member to look into his eyes and see what's going on.
We must find a way to look after one another as if we were one single tribe.
A lot of the things about the character are also true about Chad. He's very knowledgeable. He's an athlete, martial artist. He's had a lot of experience playing roles that come with a lot of weight, So I think he as a person, he as a guy has a lot of weight to him. I think he brings all of that stuff to the role, but not to mention that he's incredibly gifted as an actor and as a performer, and also as a storyteller in his own right.
I am not king of all people. I am king of Wakanda. And it is my responsibility to make sure our people are safe.
Because he is so prepared as an actor, and because his character is sort of flawless on set, it forced the other actors who had scenes with him to kind of raise their game and go, okay, this guy is not taking anything for granted. He's really leaving it all out there. So we have to keep up with him.
What doesn't Chadwick bring to the character? I mean, he's regal and grounded, and he brings a gravitas to it. So all of this feeds his T'Challa, and I think he wore the crown with dignity.
Bombay! Bombay!
I've known him since I was about like 17, so I've known him for a really long time. Back in New York, he did the work, obviously. You know, I just think he did an incredible job being true to the character.
Wakanda forever!
I had a great time with Chadwick. Just warmth and camaraderie came into it, of course, with a great deal of respect for his previous work. So when I looked at him with proud eyes, you know, they were as mother and also as comrade and colleague and Angela. It is your time to be king.
I mean, Chadwick is just a powerhouse. He's so talented. Every single movie he's made. There's kind of this internal, almost nobility.
The Black Panther has been a protector of Wakanda for generations.
He's such a soulful actor and so professional, so present. He really gives so much to the other person, and he's awesome. And his presence on set, I think, raises the stakes a little bit for everybody.
Chadwick he's a really smart, interesting, dynamic guy, and I think he was not overwhelmed, but very surprised and somewhat taken aback by the amount of love. It ceased to become just about how well he inhabited the role and all that stuff. It's become part of our culture just as a symbol.
This welcome is one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced.
It's fun to watch just what it means to people. At times, in my head, I'll be like, well, what does this do for the world? Like, actually, what is it? You know, is it actually valuable in this climate? And I have to say, yes, it actually is. Not because it makes people escape. I think when done right, it gives people hope. I found that it means a lot.
That was lovely to see all of his cast members talking so. God, I just feel like emotional after watching that. I mean, it's just hard. It's difficult to think that someone would be suffering, you know, like in his final days. Like, he must have just been suffering, and no one knew about it. So it's hard. It's hard to see how much he's achieved and like what could have been left for his life, like how much more he would have achieved. Like, he was already set on some amazing path, and he'd already done so much. So it's just such a hard thing to see someone like him go like that, because I don't know, it's just really, really sad. Like, for me, it's really, really emotional to know that someone like him has died. And do you know what? I'm actually really happy, because I actually got to meet him very briefly. Well, I say meet. I didn't really meet him, but I was next to him on my flight. I had a flight somewhere, and I was in business class, and he was in first class, but he came back to business class to speak to, I think, one of his friends who was in business class. So I was literally next to him. But we never got to meet, but still, I got to see the Black Panther for real. But yeah, what a guy, and yeah, it was really lovely to see his whole cast members talking so highly of him. He just comes across as such a beautiful character. Like, I don't know if you've seen the videos where he goes into, like, hospitals to, like, meet people, children with cancer. Like, he's actually going into hospitals and he's meeting children with cancer and making them feel better about their life while he's fighting cancer. It's crazy. And he does one speech that he did. It was an interview, actually. There's like a panel. I think it's the Black Panther panel. And he's talking about these children with cancer. And he breaks into tears. And that interview has a whole other meaning to it now when you watch it back. I will put the link below in my description if you want to go see that. It's very touching and it's emotional, a lot more emotional now, knowing that he actually had cancer at the time. So it's a bit of a hard watch when it gets to that point, but it's still a beautiful thing. You can see that he's a beautiful person. I think he comes across as such a beautiful person on screen, and definitely off screen too, from what I've seen of him. And clearly everybody else thinks the same. I think his character and his charisma that comes across in him being the Black Panther, being King T'Challa, I think that's how you say it, but he basically comes across as a really soft, caring, warm, strong, powerful character. He really fills that role perfectly. I think he is a perfect casting for it. It's going to be weird to see somebody else fill that role again in the future. I don't know what they're going to do with that. It's a very strange thing. There are people saying that somebody should never ever fill that role again, and they should just keep Black Panther being him, but they shouldn't do that. They should definitely at some point bring a new Black Panther in. You never know, there could be someone out there who could even be better. I hate to say that, but it just, it can happen. Heath Ledger was the most perfect Joker, and he still is my most perfect Joker ever. But then Joaquin Phoenix came along, and he did a really, really sick Joker too. So, people can play the same character and pull it off. So, but for now, I think we just pay our respects to Chadwick Boseman. I'm just so grateful that we had him in the world and to sort of give us his talents and his characters, and for him to play especially the Black Panther, such an iconic, powerful figure, and I think that he's inspired a lot of people around the world being the Black Panther, and helped a lot of children, give them hope, like he said at the end of that, which I think he definitely did. So he has an amazing legacy that will be left behind, and he will never be forgotten. And yeah, very sad times, but I send all my love out to Chadwick Boseman and his family. He will be floating around somewhere in the spirit world, looking back onto all of this and just be happy about everything he's achieved. And yeah, I guess that's all I can say for this, and I will see you on the next one.